So, hi guys, Dentak here. This time I'm going to show you some single player training exercises, what I think is kind of neat or kind of good. The thing is, I guess a lot of you guys actually saw that quite often, like from other people, but there are some additional things that I want to show you. So, first of all, the first thing that I want to show you is kind of a basic thing that everyone actually showed you is like going for cheating. So what I mean is you can, as you know, you can cheat in the game and then you can actually just go for specific things. What I mean is like, for example, show me the money and operation squall, don't know. So the thing is, what I want to show is at this time you can actually just go and say, okay, maybe go for power overwhelming 2 because I can't win against the computer if I'm not cheating, so that's a thing. So what you can actually try to do is something like, okay, if I'm going for a PVC, for example, I go here, build that pylon, or maybe we just go over here too and just get a few units, because this time we shouldn't bother about any supply whatsoever. We just try to get stuff at first. So like 10 salads now, we just send over here. So one thing we can actually check is what kind of wall we are going to do. Show you here. So maybe upgrade. So dang it, maybe we didn't do that. So okay, so what I want to show is actually, if we just want to check about the PVC opening, we can actually just say, hey, okay, maybe we go for this kind of wall, and we can actually build a cannon here, maybe like this. So it depends what we want to do. So we can actually just check all the time, and if we don't like it, then maybe we just go for something like this and say, can we actually check something else? So that would be like one possibility, sure. It's not like, oh, it's super bad or something like that. It's more like, okay, let's check another possibility. So destroy this one here. So we destroy this one. Just go over here, please. Thanks. So now the next possibility would be maybe we can build that pylon over here. We go over here, get now that gate here, and now we can actually go for I think actually that was Dragon who did that, and I think it's kind of interesting because he went for this. So something like that. Maybe we have to ask him. So he built that. How do you say, like that curvy, like with the edge of that building, not in a straight line. And the funny part was really, instead of he went for all these cannons over here. Okay, maybe later it doesn't matter. But the first cannon he actually built was this. So and if we just watch this one here, so just this square here, so we actually should know, we should actually have the possibility that no one can actually go through here, and the only two, yeah, you can sorry, the links can only go through here and through here, so there are two gaps anyway. The difference between the other one is like there's only a gap here and on the top, and the good part is you can actually just kill the egg and then some other units can go through too, so depends. And this cannon here actually defends very well against hydras, so sometimes I think I will check this out in the in this future just to see how to do that or if it's helpful or not. And yeah, so what I mean is something like that you can go for. The other part would be maybe we should get another computer like a Zerg or a Terran, and then we mind control them to get links and so on. I think you actually know that and you actually saw all that stuff. So we shouldn't go for that now, so it's fine. But the other part, what I want to show is actually to like where I actually should build all my pylons, maybe in every game, or at least like in PvC and whatsoever, because in PvC you build your structures different, like in Protoss vs Protoss or Protoss vs Terran. So one thing what I usually do is like one pylon goes over here, so the probes can actually mine. I think they mine a little bit faster, but it's not like, wow, such a huge advantage. It's just something that I feel is kind of neat, because you can still go for maybe close the gap here or there, so something like that. Like here, something like that. Maybe, no, that is not, but at least I could close the gap here, and then vultures can go through here. Sure, they can shoot here, but it's fine. So that means for, I think it should be close here, so I need still a pylon over here. And then, for example, against Terrans, even if Terran would, well, let's say we close the gap here too. So against the Terran, we would know, okay, if the vultures are dropped here, then they are stuck here, and they can maybe only go through here. And maybe you have still time. If you see it in time, you can maybe build another another gate, another pylon, or even, or you can even probe slide time, so just to defend that. So it's kind of nice, I guess. And yeah, and even if he drops it here, you can just send all your probes over here, and then if you have like a shuttle or some goons, and then they can shoot them down. So something like that. That's what I'm talking about. That's why we actually went for power overwhelming. Doesn't matter. So okay, the other part, what we can do is still but that's something what I do so wrong very often, is actually it's very, 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 very important that you get, let us say it depends still, but it's still very important that you get like all your tech trees like really close to each other. So that means if you have like a citadel, even the robot, like for example robo depends, because sometimes it's better you have the robo here or here, because if you get reverse or the observer faster and whatsoever, something like that. So it depends on that, but it's still nice to have like, and then you can build like a shuttle or something like that from here. If you're not going for reverse, then I think it's fine. But still the difference is still, if I have like my temple archives, let's see, okay, doesn't matter. It's okay. So we have the robotic support bay. We can still go for the observatory. And the thing is, if you actually have like F2 for your main, then you can still go for, okay, F2, maybe build a probe, doesn't matter, it depends what you're doing. And then you can just go on the top, and then you see all your tech trees. Okay, sure, those ones are actually not like spinning or blinking or something like that. Here, see, nothing. Okay, but it's unfortunately nothing. But you can still go for it and just check something like that. Sometimes I think it's really nice too, like in PvC, if your Stargate is close here, because you can still go for a cannon here, or even a cannon here. And that cannon here, I think it's still in range just to shoot that down. So it depends, because that's why I mean, like, that's why I actually build that pylon quite often here, because I can build that cannon over here, and then I can defend my courses from stupid scourges, like going there and killing my courses. So something like that can really help you just to have the overview. And I have to admit, that's something I struggle so often. It's so basic. Sometimes it's really annoying. What I mean is actually, how do you build your pylons to so you can actually do something and not screw up your build structures, or like that you have still placements for your deputies. So what I mean is like at some part you have like very long early or mid-game fights and all so on, and if you're always fighting and switching, and then all your probes are here, and then you have to try to, oh shit, I need some pylons, and sometimes you build that them on the closest position. And then sometimes something like this happens. Maybe more often than you actually want to. Another problem is actually, because you have only such a few pylons, then sometimes you have like maybe Templar archives here, you have maybe an observatory here, you have maybe a forge here, depends what you're doing, and then you try to build some gates. So that doesn't work. So another thing is, now there's one thing. Just wait a minute. Another issue is quite often that like here's such a huge gap that you can't really use to build anything. And the other part is right now you have only 5 gates that you can go for. Even if I go for F4 or maybe go like this for F4. So now I can actually go second. F3, so F2, F3, F4, just to macro, and I still have only 6 gates that I actually can use for, and then I have to switch over here and then go for a 7th one. So okay, it's okay-ish, but not really great. And what I feel is really neat, and I feel like that helped me a shit ton. Oh, let's cheat again. Show me the money. Yeah, money, yes. I'm so rich. What I feel like is really neat is actually, like I mentioned, the first few pylons are really necessary. Because I think if you have like only like, let us say that's your first pylon, and then you have maybe the cyber core here, I think that's okay. You can still go for maybe 1, 2, you can still go for a few, what is it called? A few gates here, so it's fine. But it's still a huge issue if you're like supply blocked, or even if you're not supply blocked, and sometimes like, oh fuck, I've only those 2 pylons and I can't build any more gates. Like in PvT you need sometimes like 15 gates, stuff like that. So then it's like, oh shit, where should I build them? Then you need a pylon just to build them later, and it's really oh, it's so annoying, and you have to think about shit, how can I build quickly pylon, and everything just goes and is screwed up. So something like that can be really annoying and super frustrating, because you feel like you need so much energy just to do all that shit, just because you didn't think in advance about how and where should I use my pylons and build my pylons, produce my pylons, and so on. So in this more or less like exercise, I would really say you use this exercise just to say, hey, what do I actually like for a layout to really build all my gates and stuff. So what I actually think, let's go, no, we don't need a version for it now because I want to show something. So what I think is actually very often very helpful is if you're going still for one line, like here, one line of pylons. And for example, you have already this pylon here. You can build gates here. You can build other stuff, so it's fine. So now we can actually go for here. And what I think is it's really nice is that's actually what I saw from the Starcraft. That's kind of interesting. The Starcraft sometimes goes for this one, like only one hex. Only one hex. The good thing is you can still build all the all the gates here, and it's still not an issue just to build the gates there. Very funny. So you can still build all the gates there, and I can show you here. 1 second. So because the thing is, that's something that maybe you maybe don't know about, is actually the gateways has the possibility that they don't produce things. I can show you here. So, And that's like one super big issue that's so freaking annoying that you feel like, really? Why? So that's like the circle 1 hex distance. So we go for now for the goons. Oops. Okay, I don't have to show you this one because we know that this one actually works. So now we know. What's it called? Food for something? I don't know. Okay, let's get. So get some pylons just for, and then that's something else. But I feel is very good. If you don't know where a pylon should go, but you just need some supply, just build them like in a row, something like that, or use them like the spotter pylons, like in PvP, maybe here. Can even go in PvP, for example. You can go even here, stuff like that's really nice. And here. So if you don't know where you want to put your pylons, that's something really good to know, that you say, hey, I can use those pylons as spotter pylons. Even in PvT it's really helpful. PvC is a really big exception, like always, because there are so many units from Zerg that they just can send like 2 links and they kill all those pylons really quickly. So I would really recommend, if you have some money to spare and you need still supply in the next minute or something like that, so just build some pylons over here. Now you see there are still some vision, even if there's like a dropship, doesn't matter, Terran or Protoss dropships, there's a chance that you can see this from here. Sure, like not over here, but still it's helpful if you know what I mean. Okay, again to this example here. So we know now, okay, that we can build all those goons without an issue. Go down, it's fine. Also, okay, that's fine. So, but usually what I meant is like we go for that line. We go for the line because it's really nice, and we can still go for gate, something like that. Really easy. We could still build like the pylons over here, gates over here, and then we could just go and we just have to scroll down. So it's fine. So now there's a big issue that I feel like is so fucking annoying. Works. All of them here. And here. Okay, now I'm surprised. Okay, maybe we need another pylon here. Are you kidding? Usually it doesn't work. One second. There's that one here. There it is. That's the one. Do you see that? Like exit is blocked. Now let's check again if we actually get the money back. Shut up. Okay. So okay, let's check it again. Do we get the money back? We get the money even back, and building exit is blocked. So that means like this gateway here is just worked for nothing. Can still, doesn't matter. It's like, sure, we can still go for the sellout and whatsoever, but do you actually always think about that? Oh shit, everyone here can't build goons. Like if you build a gate here, more pylons over here in that row, more gates. That means all the gates here on the left side, they are actually, they can't produce. They can't produce goons. Sure, you can still produce a sellout or something else. That's fine. But there's still that possibility that you use like, it was like 25 seconds or something like that, and I don't know the time right now, for doing nothing, and you lose the money and then later you get it back, so you know what I mean, so it's not worth it. So that's why I feel like that's why it's really important just to say, hey, we need this exercise just to check how do I actually want to build the gates, because I had some, to be honest, like a few different approaches what I thought it could be quite nice, and then later I just realized it still didn't work like I expected to. For example, do this now. Okay. for example, what I actually did quite often, and I actually liked it in the beginning, and it still works, so it's not like, oh no, it's not working, is you get 2 pylons, and then you can, how is it called, like a shape of, like a star a little bit, like this. So, because the interesting part is, if you go for this shape here, like the gateway on the left, that one gate on the right, so something like that, it's like a mirror build, something like that. So now you can go for, get a gate here, get a gate here, get a gate here, get a gate here. So we have already 6 gates. Now get another one. 7, 8, what the fuck? 8. Ten, 11. Zick, 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 zick. So that was very often my approach to go for, because I think there could be a place for here too. I think if the mineral patches wouldn't be here, I could place another gateway over here, and then we have like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 gates, maybe a 13th one, just with 2 pylons. And it's not even like, oh, 1,000 pylons, stuff like that. It would be like only 1 pylon. And to be honest, that's something that I feel like an 1,000 pylon doesn't really more or less like doesn't exist in Starcraft 1, because it's really difficult to really difficult to kill a pylon. And on the other hand, if your opponent is here and you have already 12 gates, then you're not like in the early game, you're maybe not even in the mid game, you're something around the late game. And if the opponent is here already and kills your stuff, I think, yeah, you know what I mean, it's like only 2 pylons whatsoever, or maybe 1 pylon. Okay, so that would be really great to do something like that. And I try that quite often, because now, even here, like, see? Ah! Yeah, that's the first thing that actually happened. I thought like, fuck, I did so much effort now. No, this gateway doesn't work. Let's see, all the other gateways actually work. It should work. So at least all the other gateways work. It's only 1. So it's okay. Maybe we should have killed that one, but then we have only 11 gates. So really disappointing. So, but the thing is, can you actually just see that all the time? Like, where should I build that pylon so that we don't block this one? Because I actually try that quite often, that I feel like, okay, I have to remember, okay, there's a pylon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bam. So, but then, let's see, I think they can go for it. Yeah, that's fine. But there's still like the possibility that you don't have that much space. Here, look, there's like a huge space gap here, and sometimes it doesn't work. So this can actually work. It's not that I feel like, no, that's bad or something like that. It can actually work. I think I even saw Bizu, but it was years ago, who went for something like that, and I think it can be really good, because look at this. You go for F4, and then you have like 11 gates to macro. Really great. Really good opportunity. But I feel like if you're playing fast and you have to do so much stuff, and then you build like 1 pylon here somewhere in that area, and you feel like, oh shit, because I needed that space for other stuff, and I needed to build something, and then you actually just really, what the fuck? So if something like that happens, I feel like, yeah, scouts. So because of that, I feel like you have still that possibility that you build something wrong, and then you mess everything up, and then you can just forget it. that's what I feel like what could happen like quite easily. That's why I show you something that I feel like is quite nice, can really helpful. Yeah, okay, they kill everything, is fine. So now we have like this huge mess here with stupid Terran units and all that stuff. Remove them, it's fine. So yeah, that's why it's maybe better if we go for only Stargates, get carries, and then we win, so fine. So we don't need to think about all these layouts. But yeah, unfortunately we need in the beginning always ground units. Okay, so get all this down. Oh, okay. Yeah, super cannon. Okay. So now I want to show you. Okay, hope that's not too annoying here. And then thanks. So, okay, finally. Okay, now I show you something that I feel like is really helpful. Okay, let's imagine like let's imagine that you still think about on the top there will be my tag. Sure, we still can think about like in PvT that we can go for our tag maybe here or something like that. We try to use the tag to hide because of the scan. Yeah, something like that. You can still think about something like that, so it's fine. But I feel like at some part it's difficult to say. It's like really super important to do that. So. Like especially in the beginning. Sure, if you like better at least C, B or something like that, then for sure, then I feel like you should go for that. So, but in the beginning, don't worry too much about something like that. Worry much more about how you actually get your layout done and not completely complex, because when I started playing, some people actually had like this huge architecture of, okay, you have to build a pylon here and then you have to build another one pylon there and then you can actually do like 20 gates there, and that's really nice, but you have to remember all those spots, and I feel like is it really necessary to do that? So I feel like don't worry too much about something like that, because that can actually be super annoying and really frustrating sometimes if you have to feel like, oh shit, where should I build a pylon here? Is it here? Or is it maybe even here? Oh, can't remember. So, but I think it's like quite nice, quite easy. It's actually, like I mentioned, we have that line here. We have this pylon here. You can even go for that pylon. So it's nothing like, oh, that's so complicated. Sure, this pylon is just because we want to close the gap. So maybe we can even go for another pylon over maybe here too. So that's fine too, because that one closed the gap too. Quite nice, that's good. So we actually closed some gaps here. That's really good. So, and now what I think is, what you can do is get a pylon here, another pylon, like a complete pylon hex over here, another pylon hex over here, something like this. Okay, now it's closed, it's fine. But now, now it depends, because the thing is, we have more space on the left and we want to use that. We actually go for gate here, gate here, gate here, gate here, gate here, go here. And we can, just imagine there's still a little bit of space, or we can go for like a tag or something like that. That's fine. So unfortunately we can't go for any. Okay, but here. So what we can actually do is now we build here a gate. We build here a gate, and build here a gate. We build a gate here. There's still space here. Show you. That's the or not, shit. We build a gate over here. Build a gate over here. So that's something else what we have to check all the time. So, but only with these three pylons, if we yeah, if we can still go for this a little bit on the other side or whatever, but we still have the opportunity just to say, hey, look, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 gates here, and if I go now for F4, like fighting, boom, and now macroing, we can go here, tack, 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 tack. That's now 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's fine, that's completely fine. We can do a lot of things here. And I feel like that helps a shit ton just to do that. Like always with that one gap here. And you can build gates over here. Sure, sometimes it happens that you feel like, oh shit, I have something in the way or something like that. But I feel like that's not really that bad because you can, it's like only one, just look here. It's just one gate that I'm missing right now. And if I have still space over here and I have a pylon over here, I can still go and say, hey, maybe I can build another gate over here. Maybe now we go for a pylon over here. And now we see, shit, there's still no space for another gate. But at least, that's what I'm talking about, it can be so difficult just to get all the gates done. And that's why I liked all the places, but at least if you have like 1, 2, 3, like I mentioned, 9, 11, well again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, if you have like 12 gates like this, that's really good, because what I actually do is sometimes I get like 5, 6, 7, like 5, 6, 7, and I can still, like while I'm fighting or something like that, I can go for 5, 6, 7, but usually not a lot of that. So I have at least like three gateways that I use for my macroing like this, and then I can still go for F4. So, and that's something you can actually practice just to say, okay, where should I build all my stuff? Where can I do that? And yeah, that's why I feel like it's really good to go for single player and just to practice something like that, because like I mentioned with these pylons, just in one row, always with a gap of one pylon, and then go on the left side with gates, or maybe even on the right side with all the gates, and then get like one gap to the left, and then you can build all this stuff. I feel like that's really good. I think that actually helps a lot, and I would really recommend do that because it doesn't matter which kind, or usually it doesn't matter which kind of map you are, on which map you are. You can always do that. That helps a lot. So just go for that. Just check that a little bit out. You don't have to spend like hours for that, but I feel like that's a really good start just to do that. And now we can actually go now for the next part. And I think this map is actually kind of nice. Let's always go for multitask training. Sure, you can go for that macro alone. It means like, I can show you quickly. If we go now for this macro alone thingy here, it's maybe nearly the same thing if you go just for your what's it called, your ladder map too. But now we don't have any opponent, so that's quite nice. We have no opponent, so we can just focus on something. And yeah, so for example, we can just go for a really small but really important part. If you go for that usually PvP salad core salad opening, we can just think about, okay, can we actually focus on that, and what can we actually improve on? And what I feel like is really important is to, when should I actually get a pylon? So we go now for a pylon maybe here, so that's fine. Okay, so I think that's okay. Go over here too, so that's fine, maybe we should go down. So what I mean is, I know, okay, the entrance is over here, because I just sent that probe over there. It's very often because of polypoid right now, I feel like, oh shit. So where is actually the entrance? Every time I screw that up, it's also, oh fuck. So, but still, we can go now for get the gate over here. I think that's fine. But that would be now the next part. Maybe we should check which place we actually should go for. So it's okay. So, we got this one here. Now we get the gas. And now we scout. Or even later. I think with this build you can actually scout even later. So, because you should be quite safe against what's called like the first salad pressure. That's why actually I feel like that a lot of people switch to 2-gate again, because so many people are actually going for only one zealot, sometimes without a zealot, and then into the core goon stuff, thing like that. So one thing I feel like is kind of interesting: should I have gone for 15 pylon or 14 pylon? Oh, it looks like 15 pylon was good because we still have the time. Now we get the core, we get over here. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. We get another probe over here. Close that one. Go up. And now we get another salad. So now, for example, when should we actually get the next pylon? Okay, we have now the money, it's okay. And where should we build the next pylon? That's a good question right now. So, because now we can actually build our tech over here maybe. But I feel like one pylon should really go over here. So we can get like 22. And one pylon should go over here, in my opinion. Because if we go for robotics, we can be actually in a really good position. And now you see, okay, even if the pressure should come soon, I guess, but we have like 2 solids, that's fine. We are not supply blocked, so that's fine. Oh, could have built maybe a little bit earlier, but it's okay. Everything's fine, everything's good. So, now the thing is, next pylon. Where should I build the next pylon? But the first thing I feel like is maybe I get another goon. So, and now we can actually check for we can actually check now for the robotics, because robotics should be done soon too. Because what if the opponent goes so super fast DTs, then we can be a little bit in a pickle, but that's okay. So now that's something what I do is like I love to do is like one to this gas and another one over here. So, and now I just go and build one pylon over here. It depends how occupied stuff is. But now you see, oh crap, that was not really good. That didn't really work well. You see here, I'm supply blocked a little bit. Now it's okay. But I was supply blocked now for a second there, so I feel like, oh shit. Okay, maybe we got here another pylon over here. So we get that line again. Now another gate. Something like that. But you have seen that, like, because of that, I got supply blocked. And that's something that I feel like, oh, you know what? In the first 5 minutes, nothing happened. I actually got supply blocked. So, so maybe we should actually go there again and try to check what should we actually do. I feel like I should have just get that pylon a little bit earlier, stuff like that. To be honest, I don't play this opening not that much anymore. But you saw, like, even if I didn't do anything, I actually screwed up. And then you can actually just think about, oh, when should I actually build that pylon, earlier or not? And then you can still check, oh, is there someone who, like, a really good player who actually did that build too? Maybe you get a replay and then you can check all these timings sometimes, like in the beginning. I feel like if you go like for the first like 10 minutes, 11 minutes, if you do like everything right there, then you can improve a lot. So this is now another this is another drill that you can go for. Just go for, okay, even you can go for like against computer too, doesn't matter. And just to focus on, oh shit, where I actually screw up quite often, that I actually got supply blocked or something. I think that supply blocked thingy is really important. And the other part would be sometimes, oh, I need to build that robotics or whatever much earlier, and then have to check when and where and whatsoever. So those two things I feel like if you're not really confident enough or comfortable for that, then just go for it. Just take a little bit of time, just focus on it, and just check what you're actually doing wrong or not, and yeah, so try to optimize it. I feel like it's really, really helpful just to focus on that, because while you're playing, I feel like you don't have the head for that, just to say, oh, or like to focus, whatever, like to say, okay, now I actually know when I should have built a pylon or whatever. No, it's more like you have to do it like more with subconscious, and not really like playing with this, because you have so much other things to focus on. So, okay, the next thing that I want to show is, and I think that's really important too, I have actually 2 opportunities for that. The first thing is the same thing like we saw again, just macroing alone. This time we have black sheep 1, so just to show. So this time we have just a computer over here. That computer is actually building something, and then it takes some time until it attacks. I feel like you can still go for power overwhelming and focus on your build and whatsoever. Yeah, just check if you actually get your hotkeys done and whatsoever. And you have to try to survive with that drone over here. That's really important, because if they die, you lose completely. But it's a really good multitask thing. So now we can actually maybe go for PvT opening. That's fine. Maybe for the 23 opener. And then it depends what you want to do. Like, for example, if you want to practice this thing with, oh, I want to go for gas steal or something like that. Sure, you can't gas steal this one because there's a tank. But you can actually just say, hey, you know what? Usually my probe is not there. So I send that away. And now I actually build the gate. And whatever, and so on and so on. It's just all that stuff, and that these ones shouldn't die. What I feel like you can go for, like, for your own level, and it doesn't matter if it's Protoss or not. What I feel like is really important here is you can say, okay, maybe I just only right-click those ones, this drone here, and I have to do something here. Or maybe if I feel like, shit, it's so hard, I can't do it, because if I get too much money, if I get more than 1,000 minerals, then I'm dead too. So shit, that's just too much. So what you can do is then just go for the shift move, like here, 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 here. So now that one walks on its own, and usually it should actually work quite well, that this drone should survive without any issue. But you still have to check it sometimes. If you have time, then just go again here, 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 here. And if you feel like, hey, you know what? I actually got really good at this. It actually works better than expected. Now I want to go only for the right move, only the right click without a shift move. And then it gets really dicey and really hard, because you have to always think about, okay, I click here, okay, I click here, click here, I go over here, bam, back, and now I can actually do something. And that it's sometimes kind of helpful just to know when you should actually go back to do something like in the base. If you have to do something with your units and so on, it can help. But yeah, so I think this is a really good exercise if you feel like, hey, I played already 2 hours and whatsoever, and I feel so exhausted, and I lose now against every shit, like already 3 games in a row against some stupid cheese, or I got so often supply block and whatsoever. It's so frustrating right now. Just go for something like that. If you think about it, even like martial artists or boxer, doesn't matter. I feel like even if you play football, something like that, or soccer, it doesn't matter. I think they actually go for some exercises too, like going for push-ups, going for doing a sprint, or whatever. There's I feel like you can still go for specific parts that you can work for, And I feel like you should try to do that if you feel like there are so many Smurfs like on ladder, and then I can't really play that much because they just cheese and I die and whatever. So I think you should just go for something like that and just relax a little bit and challenge yourself what you can actually improve on. For example, sometimes I feel like I want to check in like a PvT build, and then I actually saw, okay, at 15 minutes or like at 12 minutes or whatever, like that player actually got already maxed out or something like that, and then I want to check what did I actually do wrong. Sometimes you can go for some timings, like, okay, usually that player got, don't know the time right now, but let's say at 8 minutes he got already the Arbiter Tribunal, and I got it at 9 minutes. And I don't even have an opponent. It's like I'm playing against myself, and I can't get that Arbiter Tribunal at 8 minutes. And now the question is why. And so you can actually just go for and check what I actually have to do and why, and what should I do improve on. So I feel like something like that can be really, 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 really helpful, just to check what you can do. For example, right now I actually try to improve my Reaver control, or like playing with Reavers against Terrans. Because I have to admit, with Arbiters, it's really cool. I really liked it because I want to go to Arbiters later too, but I just don't like the thing that that is like you're doing like nearly for 15 minutes nothing, and then you try to recall and stasis and whatsoever. So I actually really like those Reavers, and that actually something happens, because for example, in PvC, if it works, you have that Salad Corsair timing that you attack. In PvP, you have your first 3 Salads, you have maybe a Reaver attack and stuff like that. I really like that usually, so that's something what I really enjoy to do. And in PvT, it's kind of often, okay, if you're not going for Reavers or for cheese or whatever, then it's like building bases, building stuff, and then you have like all these huge army composed, and then you hope that something happens. For me, I feel like, I want to improve that, and recently, sometimes I played very well, but at some strategies, I just lose, and I feel like, fuck. But then I actually watched myself and I thought like, okay, for example, here I skipped some unit production, and then I watched a replay of Boa, and I thought like, oh shit, he actually goes for a similar style like I do, and then he actually, he actually got the Citadel of Adun much earlier than I did, and I thought like, oh fuck, yeah, I feel like that was nearly the same situation, so maybe I should do that too. Just get the Citadel of Adun earlier, get more Salads in the beginning, because at that one game I had like over 20 goons and like 5 Salads or something like that, and 2 Reavers, and then I saw Boa, who had only 10, 12 goons or something like that, and the rest was already Salads, and in my game I already got supply blocked and whatever, and I gathered so much resource, and I thought like, oh shit, there's something that I could actually work on. So I think like, okay, the next part when I play against Terrans and I get to this point, I try to focus on getting the Citadel of Adun earlier, getting Salads earlier, and then I have to check how I can actually engage, because my engagements are really bad right now. I feel like, oh shit. And it's actually happens quite often if you're like not playing every day and like 3 hours a day, stuff like that. So then shit, you just get worse. but it's okay, so maybe if I get a time more to play against Terrans, I try to focus on that, should be fine. And here, now I feel like, so just try to go for that multitasking, and I feel like that's something like a basic thing that you should actually do, and you should go for, that you can actually improve. One small tip that I can do for you is like here, you can maybe even go for some saving games, like you feel like, okay, that was really good, I like that style, and then you can say, okay, next time I load that game and I start at like the 10-minute mark and try to practice all the time the 10-minute mark to improve that specific part. For example, in PvC, every time when I move out, very often I had not the amount of gateways, only 3 or 4, and then I thought, oh shit, I could actually already have at least 6, 7, or maybe 8 already. and my gates were just too late. So I thought, oh, maybe I just go for yeah, just some safe parts, and I try to do that all the time. And I think that actually helps a lot. So, and it's sometimes even more relaxing instead of always, okay, I have to do that. Oh, shit, I got all in. Oh, shit, I got all in again. And no, it's more like, okay, now I can focus on that. So this is another part that I would appreciate if you try to do that. So, and I think you can actually get a lot of success with that. So that's for my part. Okay, next thing. Do we have a thing? Ah, yeah, the other thing is like I have even like a hardcore. I can show you quickly. It's funny. That's the same map like before, and that's like super hardcore because I try to use my drones over here, but at the same time I have to survive with the goons over here. Fuck. Shit, already that's too good. No! Can I survive? No! Sorry. And this actually just recycles and recycles and recycles all the time. And you have to try to, yeah, to get your build model done, even if you're like, harassed the whole time, like at 2 parts. It's like, oh fuck. Even after 5 minutes I feel like, oh shit, I did a marathon or something like that. But it's fun, sometimes I really like it. So sometimes to do that, just to challenge yourself and have fun sometimes with the game, you know. It's like, I feel like if you always try to, I have to win this, I have to win, I have to play. I tried it very often and I felt very often it doesn't work at all. So it's really frustrating, it's not really nice. So, and you feel so exhausted after that. But if you just say, hey, just go for that and practice, it's fine. Another part, if you're interested, was my idea here. It's not from Mortals, it's not my idea. I just went for like a pre optimize scenario where you say, okay, I have actually already a lot of probes, like 3 bases, stuff like that, and now I just try to focus on the macro part. So just get some stuff done, get another cannon over here. There. If you're interested in this map, just let me know, so then we can actually share this. So on the other part is like I have already some pylons over here just to build F4, F2, F3. So we don't need to build probes right now, so we have to try to get units all the time. So let's see over here, get more gates over here. That's something that I F3, F4, F3, F4, F3, F4, F3, F4, F3. That's something that I do like very often wrong too, so I have to optimize that too. Just get that stuff done, bang, another one here, get a Stargate over here, bang, get another pylon over here, get another pylon over here, so tack, 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 F3, F4, so that was 5, and now there are so many bases, can show you, like sheep 1, so tack, 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 tack. Sometimes I'm supply blocked, sometimes it doesn't work, so I feel like it's kind of nice drill just to go for. Okay, have this one, maybe even go for robotics, doesn't matter. Okay, you see that one? F3, click. That didn't work, don't know why. Okay, update, bang, gang, 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 zack, zack, zack. Get a cursor. Again, supply blocked. The idea behind this is like just get all these gates, get your stuff, and then here, maybe we can see that. The more time actually goes by, the more the more time goes by, here there are some units just pops out and they just to attack. Don't know why they are actually just moving there, but you see now those two are actually active, and only if the hatcheries die, then you can those hydras don't spawn anymore. Maybe here. So then you have to kill nearly everything, but to be honest, very often I just die if I'm trying to kill those ones. There's so many units coming all the time, but like I mentioned, it's just like more or less a prototype, and it's more about, okay, just go for a macro and get those gates and try to do something. That's something else that I sometimes practice too. I actually like that because, yeah, like the other part too, it's just more about, okay, just focus on something and try to deal with that quite easily, or like much better than before, and then I feel like you actually get in touch with, okay, I have to build gates, I have to build it there, and I have to build it in some edges and whatever. So I feel like that can be really, really helpful. Is that mine? Ah yeah, there's like these micro games here. That's something too what I would really appreciate, because I actually didn't win with I think normal difficulty is the best here right now. I feel like the hard difficulty is sometimes kind of weird, I guess, right now, but it's okay. So now here we can actually just practice a little bit. Ah shit, fuck. Like both of them have to survive, right, isn't it? Yes! Oh, I did it. Yeah, here are some nice ideas about how to micro a little bit and to do some specific parts. I really like that idea. It was a really good. There are really good parts that you can actually go for. What I'm sometimes missing is a little bit like stronger. And bigger army encounters, something like that. Yeah, so maybe I should go for another one too. Die! No. Okay. So yeah, but here are some different parts that you can go for. It's actually quite nice just to do that, and I have to admit it's. Oh fuck, really? Oh! I think I lost too many salads there. Yeah, there you can even choose the part that you want to go for and all that stuff. So I can really recommend this map. It's really nice and really helpful that you know how to do salad micro and whatsoever. Really helpful. And I think you should go for something like that too, just to get in touch with that micro stuff. And like I mentioned, the good thing is you can't lose like MMR or something like that. It's just your training, so that's kind of nice. And you always know that your opponent is what your opponent is doing. Here, that part is actually very nice too. It's I would recommend to, if you go for aim booster or aim trainer, just Google something like that, like click train, don't know, aim trainer, whatever. Because there's so many games that you can go for to optimize your clicking here. And I think this map is really nice to warm up to, because you actually just hotkey 1, 2, 3. Oops. And then you can just kill all those units. I don't know, it's like 12 or 13 levels, something like that. And it actually took me quite a long time just to get really good at this and to finally be the last level. So I would really recommend to do that. It's like a basic thing too, because if it's actually easier for you to click on something, then in my opinion you actually use less energy to do something, and you're more focused or more secure about and confident about what you're doing. So I would really recommend doing that too. Just going through a few rounds, maybe in the beginning, like, or for example, maybe if you feel like, hey, now I want to play like maybe 2 hours Starcraft because I have time, maybe it's weekend, whatever. So maybe just say, hey, I use maybe like 15 minutes for those warm-up games. Maybe I go one time for my build order, then you more or less like warm up, then you can go for ladder, play some games, and then in the end if you feel like I want to focus on something again, then go for this. I feel like that's really, really nice just to focus on a few things. Like I mentioned, you can still do, like in sport, stretching and push-ups and pull-ups and whatever. So pull-ups are not like a fighting style or something like that. It's not that you fight all the time. So even all these athletes are going for something like that. So yeah, and I think in Starcraft you can do something like that too. And if you have, but if you have now the luxury that you have a good practice partner and something like that, then go for that. Hope that you can actually go for something that you feel like, oh, I want to improve on that. I want to have to what's it called, like, have to train against this scenario. Then do that. I feel like that's really important. This is now just a part about how to play a single player and what to do, and I feel like if you actually more or less like master that, and you feel like, oh, I actually killed all these opponents in the in that aim trainer thingy, or even got my build order quite good in the beginning, then you should be like ready for playing on ladder better. Like I mentioned, if you can't do your build order correctly alone, how will you do your build order correctly when you play against someone? So that's just my opinion, and I feel like that's just really good if you feel like, oh, yeah, just even if you're only 20 minutes and you wait for someone, just instead of waiting for one game or maybe a second if you're lucky, then yeah, maybe go for something like that and say, yeah, I just train a little bit and then I go wherever I want to. So I hope that actually helped. All these scenarios are actually even helpful for other races too, so it's not only oh shit, forgot one thing what I want to show, so sorry, my fault. One thing what I want to show too is actually, and I feel that's quite nice too, we go for this one again. So okay, this time we actually go for a cheat too, and this time we go for what's mine is mine. And with that, you get like 500 minerals. Just remember, if you get more than... It doesn't matter right now, I feel like that's okay. Maybe power overwhelming, just to show. So, okay. The thing is, what I feel like is, because it's really important to build probes, I thought about, okay, just get what's mine is mine. You get like 500 minerals. And you can already hotkey. What I do is like 3 is Nexi, 4 is the natural Nexi, and now 2 is the one here. So I feel, so again, what's mine is mine, build another Nexi. So, and now I feel like that can actually quite be helpful for macroing in the sum, or could have built it on it. Build it in the sum, or even in PvT it's very often that you have to produce probes on 3 Nexi, because you have sometimes around, what is it, like 630, sometimes you get your third Nexi and you still have to produce probes. So I think it's really helpful that you go for something like that. And why I'm actually not hotkeying something here is just because I already use my F4 hotkey for if there's some gates over there, and then I can then I have to practice on my own to say, okay, I click on the minimap to do something here. So, and the thing is here, like I mentioned, there's nothing about a build order. There's nothing about that I have to do something quickly or whatever. So it's just all about, I want to practice that I build something, that I use something. For example, here this one was very late. I should have I should have gotten those probes much earlier there, but it was just too late, so maybe for next time. And it's something you can remember too every time when you feel like, oh, next side is nearly finished, I need to transfer them. We can't transfer here now because it's just too far away and we have only, what was it, 17 probes right now, so it's not really, oh yeah, we have to, oops, don't know what there's one here. We can do something specific here, so that's fine. But here we can actually just go for, and practice a little bit, so that's fine here, just get a unit, whatever. Get a side over here. And if you feel like, for example, here are some other requirements that you need, like workers at a specific amount of time, whatsoever. Just get, I think it was called Star Edit or something. No, SCM draft is, I think it is. Just get that and optimize or just remove some conditions there, so you can actually just say, hey, it doesn't matter if I have more than 1,000 minerals or whatever, so I can just practice that, and you can still be fair to yourself and say, oh shit, I got more than 1,000 minerals, okay, that was really bad, so, something like that. So now here, same thing, I got 2 pylons over here, and now I can actually say I want to build more minerals, build more minerals, that would be nice. Get here that one, get this one, build more probes. F4 over here, so 3, F3, F3. So, and I feel like even that what I did here right now is something you can only do if you have time for that. Not like in the game that you feel like, oh, I have, I can learn that while I'm playing, something like that. No, I feel like that only works if you're in the game and you can do something right now. 1 second. Okay, sorry, got a phone call right now. I have to check that later. That's okay. Not really important. So, okay. Okay. So, yeah, and you can actually work on that, get your gates, try to get your, maybe robo here, depends, I have to check that, so it's fine. Maybe you can even get this citadel down here. Get another pylon over here because you want to block that, because still it's not blocked if there are vultures here. You're just coming over here and we have that. Yeah, so you can actually just focus on that stuff, and the other part would be still, where should I build another pylon? Maybe here, so I can actually build a cannon over here. Maybe I can build some pylons over here. So I actually got that wall over there for PvT, and yeah, so you can still just go for something like that, and then you go for, okay, whatever, get some stuff, whatever. You can actually practice that, like getting really early. Like you see, like at 5 minutes and 20 seconds we have 3 bases, what is it, 47 probes, and maybe you can just check, okay, when do I get 60 probes or 65 probes, and maybe you can work on that. That's something what I feel like what you can check. For example, if you see, oh, did I actually get early on that stuff, something like that. So yeah, that's actually, I feel like all these single player parts that you can go for, and it's quite easy. If you need the maps and stuff like that, just let me know. I can maybe try to upload them. Have to know which one. And yeah, so it would be nice if you actually try to do that, and if it actually helps. So thanks. Hope we see us next time. Bye.